Hello everyone, HybridJody2 here, and welcome back to another episode of NASCAR Heat 2, where we are gonna finish up the regular season of our first truck season. So we have just Chicagoland left, and then we'll start the round of 8 in New Hampshire and Vegas. It's gonna be interesting to see if we can make it out of round 1 or not, so that's gonna start today. We're basically locked into the playoffs, because we have 2 wins, so we're good. This is what it looks like for the other guys. There are only 8 winners in the standings. But what these other guys could take it. But yeah, as it stands, 5th in points will not make it because there's 8 winners. Because, you know, in real life, there ends up being either like a dominant driver or like a bunch of leech and part-time winners. So you don't see 8, you won't see 8 regulars win a season. And then when it started to get more competitive, of course, they increased it to 10. But in this game, since you don't have that, you have only the full-time guys, there is a much higher chance of having 8 winners. And that kind of carries over to Xfinity, too, even though the number there is 12. Let me make sure my triggers are working out again. If you've watched the past couple of videos, you'll know that they get kind of... This controller gets kind of like... It'll like either not press down the throttle all the way when I want it to, or it'll like the brake will get stuck. But I think we're good. Let's get up to full speed. Chicagoland, of course, IRL is a great track. You know, when we go there. It's like one of the best mile-and-a-half tracks. Got a slight curve to the backstretch that doesn't really affect anything, but it gives the track character. And yeah, I just think this is like the ideal mile-and-a-half racetrack, and it should put on some good racing in the game too. And it's a great spot for a regular season finale. 23rd. Again, this is not a top-tier truck. It's great that we're even in the playoffs because of those 2 wins that... I don't know, the 2 wins were like... I wasn't dominant. I did have to like work my way up there late into the race, but I don't know. I'm just curious, because we should be in a top tier ride next season, just how dominant we're going to be. We might have like a 10-win season. We'll see. And depending on how that goes, it might lower the difficulty, but I also think the Drug Series might be the easiest series AI-wise in this game, but I don't know. As long as we have some fun races, which lately we have been. I think these races have been pretty interesting. A lot more interesting than like anything in the Evolution. Again, I would offend these games. The Evolution is more of like an ironically fun kind of game, but like, I won't lie, a lot of those races in that playthrough were boring as crap, but I haven't felt that way as much. Heat 2. I mean, you see we're 3 wide here. As I try to, yeah, keep them up in the middle lane. We're gonna work our way through, and I also just make it fun to drive for other teams instead of just a crappy custom car. It still wouldn't be into Heat 3 that we had both as an option, which is good. Ideally, you want both. But I don't know. I like the rear mode in this game, even though money is completely useless. I still think, in terms of like being fully fleshed out, Heat 3. Oh no, I have some contact with the Joe Martins. Try to save it. I feel like the career mode kind of hit its mark in Heat 3. Is what I was trying to say. But we've lost some spots from that. Not that this race matters at all, but unless we were to maybe get momentum, but even with wins I haven't been getting that, so I don't know how that works. Yeah, I just kinda, I don't know what happened, but Joe Martins just got me. And I'd probably be mad at me for that. But also when I talk sometimes, when I like find a big subject to ramble about, I'll just get distracted, so It's already happened a few other times in this series.
Inside still there.
Anyway, we're back. We're back to 42. We're halfway through the race, so we can make our way back up. But I do think that we probably will not get as good of a finish as we could have, you know. But we can get back to the top 20 quite easily. The draft's helping out a lot. I know there's like... This game does not have a visual indicator for the draft, but you can still feel it with the controller, or I can. It makes it a little harder for people watching to see. Still working our way up. Kind of a close pack here. Once we get to P13, it's kind of a clearer track. So we are behind Regan Smith, Ross Chastain. Been kind of racing these two a lot. We're at the point where I think I can really only pass these people if I have the draft. Even in the turns we're not gaining a lot. Maybe in the middle of the turn a little bit. There's Grant and Finger. I can't get his draft from here. We got JJ Yeley in the picture too. Like, isn't this just... I don't know how they did it, but the racing is just almost always engaging. Like, there's always a battle going on. Alright, just made up a ton of ground in Ross Chastain out of nowhere. But I kind of messed up that exit because I had to scratch my nose. Yep. Final lap to try to get P13. I do think without that incident earlier, we'd probably be in P11. Top 10 is kind of a ways away. Anyway, right on Chastain. I don't want to wreck him, but we'll go low. That's only going to be enough. P14's fine to round out the regular season. And now we would go fight and fail for that championship. And these upcoming races might be rough. But it just depends on, you know, all you gotta do is beat 2 guys per round. I believe that's how it works in this season. Also, who won that? Did we see a last-minute person get in? I don't know. But we are officially in the playoffs, as Nemechek said. Or Nemechek didn't make it in, unless he won that last race. That's what I wanted to check. Christopher Bell was the winner. He already had a win, right? Yeah. So that's where we're at now. We do get a little advantage because we have 2 wins. I think there's a few bonus points for the top however many in points that we don't have. Which is why you have some like 9, 8, 12, whatever. No stages, you would get points for those 2. But really, we only have a 1 and 2 point advantage over Gregson and Cindric. But yeah, just a picture. I'm not gonna remember. You guys probably won't remember. But these are the 7 guys that I need to keep an eye on. Well, there should be indicators. I think there's indicators in this game when you race them. But now you have, yeah, just the actual playoff grid. So it is 4-6. Yeah, or 8-6-4. Yeah. Wow, New Hampshire kicks off the playoffs for some reason. How exciting. What an exciting place to start your championship fight. I don't know, I've never been too big of a fan of New Hampshire in the games or IRL. Also, I hope my mic sounds okay. I keep having to mess with it. Hopefully one day I'll get a better mic. I know that's like a big deal.
Alright, get your marks. Go, go, go,
I'm just always self-conscious about it. But anyway, you always just feel like you're fighting around the corners here. And it just feels slow. Like, I mean, yeah, it is kind of slow. But you got these long straightaways, and then you gotta slow for these, like, sharp but sweeping corners. They're not like a paperclip like Martinsville, but they're still pretty sharp, and you have to lose a lot of speed to get around. There's also a lot of opportunity for sending, especially if you want to troll and just go all the way down into 3, but with the grass physics, it might be like Canadian Tire, it may not work here. You're like, I'm not even able to go to the bottom driving I'm driving like I would in some of the other games, and it won't even go to the bottom. And I don't know if it's faster to go to the bottom. Yeah, this feels faster. That was a decent enough corner in my book. And the game says 13th. That's actually pretty good. That's actually around where we need to be. That said, I don't think we outqualified any of our opponents. But we should move up here as long as we don't crash. So where's the standings? Okay, there are markers, yes. So obviously the green means we are racing them for the playoffs. And we just need to beat 2 of these guys. I can't turn, dude. That wasn't good. They're turning so much more easily than I am. I think the only break I would have is to, if a caution comes out, crank the wedge all the way down, but we haven't seen many cautions. I would have to cause one myself, and I don't want to do that on purpose. But there's one playoff guy that we can maybe pass. I say we a lot, it's just kind of a YouTuber thing, right? It's me playing the game, but I just say we without even really thinking about it. And I also suppose we could be the team that's in the 50 truck team. And I'd consider anyone watching this part of the team because you're supporting me. Or maybe you want to root for my downfall, that's fine too. Middle 3. In other games, I just would not be able to handle that, but with this one, like, yeah, I made it through there safely. That was on me. I braked late. Sorry, Yolan. That could have been worse, I guess. Here, I gotta use them as a brake. It's just so hard to turn. And that might be a side effect of the slower truck that I'm in. Now we're in the middle of a bunch of playoff guys. We need to try to get a couple more spots. We're 1/3 the way through this race. I keep stumbling my words again. That was also too low of a corner. I lost so much time there. So the gap at the line here is 0.8. Someone ripping the high line. Out of 2, the gap is the same. I gotta hope that they just put up each other. Would we see lap traffic? Because, like, it's not that short of a track. It's 1 mile. But with 12 laps, maybe? I don't know. We're probably about half a lap apart. Maybe not even that much. So I don't think we'll see it. It might be visible by the end, but I don't think it's gonna happen. We did finally gain some time, though, and now I have a bit of draft. Of course, you're not going to get as much draft here, but I did feel it a little bit entering the corner. That did feel like a lap where I just locked in and focused, and maybe I just need to take the corners a bit easier. It's working out fine. I hope that fart did not pick up. That was a pretty good one. But anyway, we got another spot on a playoff opponent. So that puts us to the good. Well, with the playoff points, maybe not. I don't know. We have a slight advantage with those, but it really depends on how much each specific person has. And it's not going to be that big of a gap because we're all running well. Like, I think all 8 of the playoff guys are in the top 11. Because we didn't really have any upset winners. Besides me, I guess. Just gotta see if I can gain 1 or 2 more spots. That'd be nice. It's gonna be close. Right now, I've kind of hit that gap of just being on my own. Gained a bit of time here. Three laps to try and do something, but we're just so even on speed. Try sending it there. Let's try running a bit higher up on the track and see if that does anything. Entered a bit higher there, and I kind of liked it. Didn't exit low enough though, so never mind. I don't think we're gonna get them, but we still have a couple more shots. What's the tire wear? Not that much. I was thinking that might actually make it easier to turn. But, yeah, like, if we lower the wedge down, we'd be fine. But we don't have a chance to do that. Like, I actually heard league racing this game was before my time, but apparently what you would do in league racing is, in this game, there were no, like, presets. The ideal online was to hit as soon as possible. Like, I think sometimes they even did it lap 1 under green, or at the first caution. Usually the strategy was to hit immediately, lower your wedge all the way down, and that was it. The ideal setup at every track, pretty much, is lower the wedge all the way down. If I remember correctly, that's what I heard. So that was like a funny thing that happened in every league race, was that you immediately went and lower your wedge and then you started racing. But that's a P9. Could have been worse. Definitely could have been worse. We're still in the fight at least. That's Seabell with the win. He goes on to the next round. Pretty sure he won the race. He won the actual race here, maybe in this season. Whichever season he was winning a lot. Well, I mean, he is, like, nowadays, the best Cup driver in New Hampshire. He wins there every time, so it makes sense. Realistic winner. We are tied on the bubble, so it's going to be close. We are dead even. We have the tiebreaker for whatever reason. Maybe I think it's best finish in the round. I don't know if it works that way in this game, but that leaves us with Las Vegas. Okay. The final race this round is Talladega, right? That one kind of had me worried, but no, that's for next time. Vegas, I think, should be fine. Did we go here earlier this season? because I don't remember if we did, but I think this track should be fairly competitive for us. It's just a very solid mile-and-a-half track. It's fairly wide, leads to a lot of battles. Wish I could have built up more speed there. I scraped the wall. I think building up speed in these slower vehicles is really important for qualifying, and part of the reason why I don't qualify as well as I do in the race. Like, I'll track it. 167 at the line there. We'll see what it is finishing the lap, if it's the same or not. It'll be an interesting test. Anyway, pretty decent corner. Almost went full throttle there. At the line, just slightly faster than before. P18, that's fine. Because this is a high-speed track, I think with the draft we should be able to gain some spots. As long as we don't mess up. Let's find out. I don't know if I want to go in there. I might need to start taking some risks though, because like, this is where the season is laid on the line for us. Gotta focus here. There's a lot of close racing. And I'm not really making any easy passes yet. We got 2. It's not enough. There's Cindric, who's the guy we're tied with. So beating him would be really nice. Maybe could have worded that better, but I don't really want to push him, but gotta get these other guys out of the way. Talk about a driver getting in the way, Cody Coughlin. Waste of a seat. He just did nothing. And they luckily figured that out, and he just faded into obscurity for the most part. I think he still appears in ARC every now and then, which is funny. Alright, that got us a few spots. But I think we only had Cindric. We got 6 playoff guys in the top 8. Again, they're all in the top 11, maybe top 10 here. I need to look ahead of me though, not behind. Okay, they're surprisingly kind of single file-ish here. I should have just went with his draft. Ignore the ideal line, just follow the truck. That seems to be the best way to catch people. I don't know why you said that. Because I wasn't side by side with anyone, so I don't know. Slaughtered. I've got nowhere to make the pass. We're in a train. This is not how I thought this race was gonna go. Alright, now it's gonna get interesting. Road's found the bottom. He actually made a pretty good block there, I'm not gonna lie. And all the people we're passing are the non-playoff guys, come on. You even have Self in 5th place. And I messed up. This could be for the... This could get me eliminated, that mistake right there. Again, I may just suck at Talladega and none of it matters, though. Or maybe I win Talladega and then also none of it matters, because when in, you're in. I'll need to find something to talk about when I qualify Talladega, because it's just going to be a waste of time. No, even check. from when I hit him the first time, went down and came back up, and that's not good.
Still a car out there.
We're still ahead of Cindric, though. But we lost a few spots. That hurts. But I mean, we've not been this competitive at some of the other tracks, so I'm glad that we're even having top 10 pace. You know, in a Beaver Motorsports truck. But I mean, we're driving the truck that belongs to someone who won this a championship of this series before. Travis Waffle going from a truck championship to just some backmarker stuff before he just kind of dipped. Racing people that don't matter. I mean, I guess it's still good to get a gap over Cindric if I can, which I'm not. But I also gotta beat 2 drivers, so we might still be below the line after this race.
Easy.
Okay. If I can at least pass the 8 here, then we should be okay. I'm gonna have to make it work in the middle. Nemechek had some help there. Maybe if we just get Crafton. Oh, clear him. There we go, we cleared. Still, I think we could have gotten to top 6 if not for that mistake earlier, but 7th is fine. We're still in the hunt. Let's see the results here. Truex wins. He might have been one of the guys that I was ahead of. I don't know. No, okay. We are 3 ahead of Cindric and 8 ahead of Gregson. And we kind of just need to beat Cindric and Gregson. That's it. Getting closer to being Season 1, and indeed we have the Fred's Pharmacy 250 with Coca-Cola at Talladega. And that's going to be the most important race so far that determines if we make it another round or not. And that round starts with Martinsville in Texas. Oh boy. Oh. For reference, how did we do at Daytona? 14th. Okay, so we might be fine at Daytona. It's going to be exciting. And we'll see how that goes in the next episode. If you made it to the end of this one, thank you for watching. I'll go through... Oh, we got some people mad at us now. Might have some rivals by next season. 9 top 10s this season. I wanted to double check. This is a 4-star team. I wasn't sure if it was 3 or 4. But yeah, that's how it is. Here's a quick scan of the points. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting next time as we try to get into the round of 6. Hope to see you there. Thank you so much for watching. Hyperdrive 22 signing out.